Hosbaldo's a bitch. Go ahead. Yeah, right. Osvaldo. Ryan already. That's in Silas. Yes.
Oh, what? Over there, man.
Yeah, you're nasty.
Fuck you.
Jose.
How we feeling, huh? That's how we feeling. Like it, get it. Oh, look at it.
People on YouTube.
Fuck.
Look at this guy.
Bro.
Is that you? Oh,
Oh,
shit!
no.
Look at that. Hey, like that, huh?
That's
Shot. Ow.
You are.
fine. You can leave.
In the shot. Oh, he put you in the top.
Oh, well,
you
we put
forgot.
it when he was not here.
Yeah, but more.
Whole thing.
Wait. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Higher Thought Cast. If you don't know what's going on right now, please. And that's what said. We left him out of the. Oh damn! You put my name, bro. That's okay. I can edit afterwards.
Put HD.
No, you're good. You're good, man. You did a good job. Damn, we got 4 viewers. Did you give us the Instagram post?
Oh no, I haven't.
Get us the Instagram post. That shit works.
Is there?
What?
Hypertension.
Hypertension. Hypertension. Is that what she stands for? Hypertension. So real quick, the Katinsilas, our video that we recorded on Lookout Mountain is live right now. Go show us some love, please. And if you don't have time now, it will hopefully YouTube doesn't copyright us and take us down. Take it down. But it's premiering right now live. Go catch that.
Put it on your DVR.
Or the DVR, or or screen record it.
Grandma, she will love it, especially the DJ.
So, and I have today with Jose. How you doing, Jose? Not too bad, man. I feel like a kite that just got like strike down by thunder. That's exactly how I feel. Over that. No, like the kite, and then it got thunderbolt through it. How was the gym? How's
Pretty good, man. The New Year resolutions people are
dying out?
Stopping.
They're dying out.
away.
I know. My
That's
apartment,
really good.
it was completely full like January, Christmas. About 5 p.m. Dude. Okay,
Yeah.
it's completely empty.
What about you, Camilo? How you doing?
Chilling. Big chilling. It was good.
It was good. Nice. And our maid of honor here. I mean, Hosbaldo, what's up?
I agree.
Thank you.
How you doing, man?
It's great for you to recognize and remember.
Yeah, that you're the maid of honor. Yeah, that's why we have you here. That's why you can't
Thank you.
be covered, man. The camera has to get you. People are not going to show up if you're not on camera, man. Like I said, try to be out of the shot. Oh, right. Oh, we got some things to discuss, gentlemen. Jose's feeling it. But before, obviously, everybody's looking at the title, and you guys see what we're about to get into. But before we doing that, anything on your guys' mind? You, Jose? I feel like you got something. So, you, Osvaldo? It better not be blank. At a hole. All right. So, well, I'll just post a question now. What's the last time you guys thought about that? The last time you guys thought about it? And the reason why I wanted to have the conversation is because, well, first, I don't think the conversation's had enough. I don't think people are so open to it as much as they enjoy speaking about general life. Because from my standpoint, death is equal value as much as life. You need both until we become immortal, but that's a whole different other conversation that hopefully we land in later. But death is important. Death is important to be understood because it will happen at some point, either around close to you or you, right? So me personally, I've always thought about death since I was young. I dealt with it early on, right? And for the most part, the natural reaction that most humans have to death is, sadness, not being able to accept it, not a loved one passes away, or why you might be the one that passes away. So death is important, its value, and I think we need to bring it to the forefront, just as far as every other. So, gentlemen, what's the last time we thought about death?
That's a loaded.
Of course,
I might
it
have
is.
to sign a waiver for 72 hours after this question.
You're off the clock, so you're good. You're off the clock, so
all right, yeah. Let's talk then.
But that's a joke. But that's exactly the point, because it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It doesn't have to be this thing where we're so fearful of it that we're not even willing to discuss it, because we all can agree it's gonna happen, right? Or it has happened, or a friend of a friend has happened, right? Death happens every day. Just as much as people live, people die every day, right? So, what do you guys think? Do we struggle with it? Do we understand it, or what's your guys' general view on it? Because me personally, just to get us off the launch pad here, I'm okay with it. I think it's equally value like life, and when death happens, me personally, that's just a step for the next thing to occur, right? Just how we're about to get spring here soon, or who knows what might, right? Because you said you had the article, right? Early spring wasn't a thing yet, but just how the plants have to grow and the green has to come out. For that to happen, death has to occur. That's why winter comes, right? So it's this natural process that we need. We need death to have beauty again, right? And to me personally, I accept it. I understand it. And I think it's something we need as much as life, right? As much as we value life and we value this existence reality. So what are you guys at with this whole death thing?
It's a little question.
It's a cliche, I guess, because not a cliche, taboo. Because on that, like, a lot of people get into existence things, talk about it, and then that's kind of like one of the things, like the superstition thing. that if you don't talk about it, kind of like or push it away, it will bring it into light, then happen more noticeable more quickly. I think it's just people they're afraid of it because like nobody knows what happens afterwards, reincarnations, or if we go into something else, or we just never come back, never do anything again. And then religion based as well, like all of them have their own endings.
Yeah.
But nobody's like really for sure on it, then can't really talk about it. Well, speculate what kind of goes on, but we don't really, can't really have this definite answers on it. I think that's what kind of throws people away. That there's no like no definites, there's no references, history on it. Then every person's topic or opinion on it will essentially be always. Because nobody really has like, oh yeah, this is what happens when you die. Because I noticed it, I saw it.
Yeah.
Like my grandfather died, and then he told me what happened when you died. It doesn't happen. Can't get feedback on it.
No, yeah. And you're 100% right. And I think that's why it is a taboo. By the fear of the conversation struggles. What do you mean? Oh yeah, my fault. But so let's define what we do know, right? We do know that this natural to us as of right now, right? It will happen to all of us at some point, right? We do know that we can agree on that, right? So death is natural just as much as life is, and it will happen to us at some point, hopefully not anytime soon. Saying, Jose, so what else do we clearly just know as far as death? What else could we list or add to that we clearly know? It's not a question mark. So death will happen to all of us. This is how it seems to be. So what else?
What is that you're asking?
Well, like off what Jose was saying, people are scared to have this conversation because we don't have a definite answer. We don't have definite references. We don't know if we reincarnate. We don't know if we go to heaven, blah, 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 and all that. But let's list the things we definitely do know. That for sure.
What is it that you would know or?
Well, I just stated one. Death will happen to all of us at some point.
Afterwards?
Well, before we get into that, let's just, because I think he made a good point, let's list what we do know. So the audience feels comfortable throughout this conversation.
What is it that, what is some knowledge we have already?
And come back.
The aftermath of it.
Breathe. The psychological side of it. Process. Recovery. Mental stability. Part of life. Like just life.
Everything. Animals. Everything.
So is that all we kind of know? That it will happen at some point, and you will go through some grieving process, right? Especially when you lose a loved one. So we know that for sure. So if we could state those clear two things, do we even want to know what happens after? Because, I mean, that's kind of how the whole thing's been programmed as far as belief systems, right? Is people believe because they want to think there's something afterwards or something happens. So what do you guys think something happens after death, or do we just rot in the ground? No, I definitely do. That's why I got you here having this conversation, right? Because to me, my personal opinion is my soul's going to go somewhere else.
Nowhere?
No, I don't know. But my soul will live on.
Any general direction?
No, I'm something like that. My soul won't die though. I believe that the soul doesn't die. The biology, who you were in that moment, is gone. You can be left with traces in that soul, but your soul will live on. And then regardless, it goes to another form of body, or it goes to another reality.
But is that soul still you per se, or is it just your soul?
I think there is traces. There will be traces of this existence in that soul, but it won't. Yeah, but it won't be defined. And wherever, like for the sake of the conversation, let's say I become a bee. right? And then one day the
Well,
BS.
that's the reincarnation part.
Yeah, and a little bit of that. I don't like using that word a lot because I still don't have a set way. I wouldn't say I believe in reincarnation. I just think my soul will go somewhere else. I don't know if it's
Your soul will reincarnate.
You explain the process of it, but
yeah, because I don't, that means you believe a certain specific thing, but I don't clearly know. I don't know if it goes into something else. I just know the soul will continue to live on,
So it
regardless if it goes.
Yeah, that's the whole process of
in
it. You
different
could
form.
be an insect, you could be a blade of grass. You're still living in there.
I heard that that's how you pay for a better life. You choose to reincarnate in the. I don't think grass, maybe an insect or something.
Well, there's still life in grass.
Yeah, well, something like if you wanna grow in the spiritual world, you can choose to reincarnate into somebody or something that it will not have a good life. Well, something as grass or a tree or a dog or an insect. That's how you get rank, I guess, in heaven. That's what I heard about.
Rated the rank. Or why is there a rank?
It's because I guess it's because they picture us as the life we have here. So I heard that once you pass, like you still do things after you pass. You are part of a bigger thing, a bigger society or community that is not worried about human things anymore, but you still do things and work something or you contribute something.
Is that what you believe?
Oh no, I
Huh?
just heard that.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I believe there's life after. I don't know how or what kind, or if I will be myself. But there's life for sure.
You, Jose?
I think there'll be some form of. I don't know if there's gonna be like a overarching sort of death and then like re-entry and stuff like certain like what some religions it's reincarnation and then some other non-religions it's reincarnation as well, but then in Christianity at least, if you die you would come back as like essentially like your soul, your person and all that stuff. But then from there, if you make it into the kingdom of heaven actually, then from there it's not necessarily how people actually paint it out to be, where you're gonna be seeing you'll probably see your family and like pets and all that stuff, but it's not gonna be like a fancy, like lavish lifestyle like being in heaven. What they say it is that you're just gonna be, which is also it's not like a bad thing I guess, but you're just gonna be in adoration 24/7, 100% of the time, every day, all the time, like singing, praising, being around like the Lord, and that's it. That's your whole life after death. You're gonna praise for eternity.
If you go to heaven, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah, you're gonna be out there singing and like some of the sort of the style of dancing I guess that they do, like that dance, all that extra stuff. So, but that's like one of the things that they say is gonna happen. Again, don't really know how like they know that that's gonna happen, but I don't know if that's gonna be like if that would be inviting to people. Like after death, and you're supposed to be like in this free place, and you did all your goodness, for you to only come back and you're just gonna praise and sing and just say good stuff. Like I said, and one thing is not a bad thing that you're gonna be praising, but that's it. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna wake up, praise, go to sleep, and then wake up and praise. That's it. Eternity.
What do you believe?
I don't know about like the praising part, but I think that there is gonna be this extra life and stuff where you're not gonna be living out your wildest dreams, but you are gonna have this sense of happiness all the time. Like there won't be no sort of doubts. There's like no anger, like all of that would be kind of taken away, and then you're just left with the good things in life, and that's it.
Even
so part of your memories,
eating and everything, you will loosen up. Like you will be taking.
Well, I don't know if there's going to be eating because we're not going to need it for survival. You know, at that point,
she's gone, right?
yeah, at that point, like we wouldn't really need drinks or anything.
Do you think?
I don't know. I have a few theories, or like 5 theories.
We got time.
This is the moment.
Yeah, bring them a paper if you want.
So one of them is just called the cosmic theory. It basically says that since the universe was formed, we are basically part of that initial beginning of the universe. So it's like people saying that we're made of stars. Kind of true, yeah. So our whole bodies are basically galaxy material. So it's like once you die, your body just goes back to being
Back to
part of
dust.
the universe. Yeah.
Back to space dust.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just go back to be part of the matter, like because we're basically composed of the 5 main material of the world. Elements, hydrogen. There's 5 carbon,
Oxygen.
oxygen. You just go back to it. You just go back into the cycle.
So yeah, so you're dust at some point.
Kind of, yeah.
Maybe in a million years, whenever this circle that we call Earth disappears.
And again, that's the most nihilistic view, where it's just
You start the whole process again from the
Yeah.
beginning.
so it's not really an afterlife, but your soul, kind of how this was a bit describing, like your soul is still out there. It still has remnants of you, but it's not really you anymore. It's just leftovers. Again, that's the most nihilistic. The other one is something we were talking about last week.
What?
Quantum theory, quantum mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
where it basically states that consciousness is a form of like super tiny particle, like super tiny. So it's something physical, and again, it's super tiny, so we can't really grab it or see it. But once you die, since it's quantum theory, like it's able to transverse dimensions. So at that point, whenever you die, you just go to another dimension. And at that point, I wouldn't really know, like, what is it that happens. Maybe you,
Do we just become energy?
not necessarily energy, but because again, it's still consciousness, so you would still be yourself. You would still be conscious
Right.
in a different dimension. So at that point, it's either your own consciousness makes up the afterlife, or everyone's consciousness is kind of brought together in like a heaven-like,
One big pool.
yeah, in
basically,
like a heaven-like
souls.
environment, I guess, where again everyone collectively can choose. Again, I wouldn't really know, but like everyone could choose what they want to do. Again, that would be the quantum one, the better. Well, like the not. Well, I guess better in like you're still conscious, but then at that point, you have the flaw in that theory is how far back do you go in consciousness to allow for you to go to that other dimension. It's like, so dogs also have consciousness, so are they allowed to go? Or insects, are they allowed to go? So at what point is the threshold where your consciousness can jump to the other dimension?
To other dimension after death,
Mhm.
right?
Or like how like let's say like at evolution, like past human evolution, like how at what point were they able to jump over to the consciousness?
To consciousness from just being following instincts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So out of those two so far, what is more attractive to you, or what's the one that you would accept and follow,
There's one more.
or to the table too? Go ahead.
The other one is basically that you're allowed to pick your own reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that all death scenarios are real in their own way, but you get to pick it. Whatever you believe is whatever you go into. So it's like heaven is real. Whatever other religions, afterlife locations, they're all real. You just go, and that's where you live. But again, that also kind of mixes in with the conscious theory, where your consciousness just goes somewhere else. I would choose that one. Like, you're still you. You could still experience yourself. Oh no, then there's another one. I think
His wheels are turning, gentlemen. His wheels are turning.
Good.
I think you know about it. The egg theory.
Oh yeah.
So
Where?
I don't know if you guys heard of the egg theory?
I don't think so.
No?
Or maybe.
So the egg theory is basically a story where this guy ends up dying. So he meets God, basically. And the person is like, oh, I died. And God's like, yeah, you died. And then the person is like, oh, well, what do I do now? He was like, oh, you go back. And you're reincarnated. But you're reincarnated, but it's you again. So basically you're always reincarnated, meaning every person you meet, every person that has lived, every person that will live is you.
One consciousness.
So there's one consciousness, basically meaning that you yourself is the universe.
So out of all those, you would still choose the third one?
Yeah, I would still go with the different dimension quantum theory one.
Okay. What about you, gentlemen? Out of those 4 or 3 you said,
Well,
it kind of goes by what both of these were describing, one way or another. Because the first one sounds a little bit like the Christian stuff you were saying, right? Where you kind of go to this place. The first one you said?
the first one I said was a Stardust one.
Well, the second one, I mean. The quantum one kind of sounds kind of how the Christians see it.
Maybe you go to another place.
Yeah. And you just kind of be there, but you're still you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what about you, Camilo?
Which one do I like?
Yeah. Or
what's your interpretation
of that?
Yeah.
Or what's after
what
that?
happened? Yeah, what happens?
That's a big question. Shit. I guess again, I'm pretty sure something will happen. There's something else. It's not just us and just being insects food. Feel like there's another realm, if you may call it like that. There's another dimension, if you want to call it that too, which is a different word, and it works similar to the one we live on right now. Maybe it's just our souls or consciousness just trying to express everything that we want to hear in that different reality, I guess, or being able to do things we will never be able to do here, or what we're able to do here, I guess. But no, I believe there's another structure. There's life, but it's a different life though. That's what I like to believe. Like you go and then you're still you, but then you have the option to reincarnate and come back and do better or improve whatever you were trying to do or change something you were supposed to change, or you just, as Jose was saying, you just enjoy your freedom if you did get a nap here. And I guess I will be more on the religious side of it, Christian side of it, as Jesus called it.
the world, you mean? Not just me?
Oh no, as you just mentioned, as you just said.
So you would say you would be okay, well, kind of like Jose said, kind of like praising the Lord?
I don't think that's how it will work. I think you will have more access to whatever the Lord is, because we don't know what He is. He can be whatever. He can be the universe itself. Who knows? But then you will have to do certain things, But I don't think it's praying 24/7 or praising 24/7. You have to do certain things, and then especially if you want to get to, I feel like it goes by as it is here, like the president and
So there's a hierarchy.
there's a hierarchy, being God, the king, and then I don't know how to say it in English. Arcángeles are the next one in line, and then ángeles, because whatever they did here was worth it, and then santos, which is for like people that gave it their lives for the word, and then just regular human beings that they get. But then I feel like for you to get to that level of being an angel or an archangel, it's just you need to do something again. I feel like that's what it is.
Who decides that? Who would decide?
It's
where you're
whatever you
placed?
do is whatever is morally correct.
I guess that's another question.
Yeah, but that is not getting to.
Yeah, that would be another question. Like, what is morally correct?
No, yeah. That'd be definitely an interesting conversation. So we can agree that there's these different ideas because it seems to be something that's going to happen to us, and because we're human, we want to have at least some sort of understanding because we're kind of egotistic in that way.
Or
right?
hope.
Or hope. Excuse me. Or hope. Right. So let's say we reach immortality. Where does that put us, and what does death come to us? Because at that point, if we become immortal and death is not a thing we have to worry about biologically or time-wise, whatever the case may be, because as you were describing, it sounds as if death is some sort of vehicle of transportation.
That's what I've.
Right,
That's what I've
as being able to travel to these dimensions that do already exist.
Mhm.
And death is just a name for this vehicle, but since we have a poor sense of what death is, we view it as the worst thing because we think life is everything, right? So, because to me, I think that's what it is. To me, is you have access to these other things, and like how you were saying earlier, because you allow your consciousness to be completely open or be one with the main consciousness, regardless if that's God, the universe, whatever the case may be, and that's when you start having access to these different realities or dimensions. Because to me, to be honest with y'all, and yeah, we're gonna go down this hole. That was, to me, it seems to be a made up karma to keep us at a certain level. Because even as you were explaining what you thought, Camilo, you, Jose, we're all trying to figure out the best we can so we can feel better tomorrow, or we can be okay in this reality that we have to deal with, or when a close one does pass away, right? So that it seems like this weird karma that we were placed in life and death, because we were not supposed to surpass that level of existence, because we're just humans, we're just mere mortals, right? Because that's how I always looked at it. We don't have to die. Where does this come from? Why do we have to die? We don't even have to get old, right? Those conversations are real. Mm-hmm. So it just sounds like whoever set up the original to what we think we know now just kind of set it as this weird karmatic kind of, just to keep us at this lower level of thinking or existing or dimensions, because we're not, almost, it seems like we're not supposed to go to those dimensions. And it's a little bit of what Camilo was saying. I wouldn't use those exact words as far as like archangels and those stuff, but why do they get to travel those dimensions? You know what I mean? That's kind of the question. Mm-hmm. And humans seem like, no, you're supposed to live and die. You're supposed to live and die. There's no other option. But are we really?
So you're not okay with that?
With die?
But whenever I got lost. Whenever you said that we don't even have to get old, were you saying it in a literal way, like physically we don't have to get old?
Yeah, I believe old age is a disease. Yeah, we don't have to get old. I mean, we haven't figured out 100% how we're doing it, but there's different ways now that you can take care of yourself and different things you can consume that helps your body reproduce your DNA and stuff. But that's a whole other
So not even die. So at that point, if we stay young, then if we die just because of a stupid accident, not because old age.
Or, well, that would be immortality altogether. Not getting older or not dying.
Oh, okay.
And the point I was just trying to make is just death just seems like a weird thing it's not exactly how we think it is. It's just kind of set there because they wanted to keep us humans, as you were saying, that hierarchy of archangels, God, king, whatever, that we're not even supposed to scratch those surfaces because we're just mere humans. And
So
that's
you're not okay with that hierarchy then?
no, hell no. Obviously, well, you guys know I'm the far out of all you three. I'm the farthest from religion in reality, right? No, I'm not, because there's a reason why we can even have these thoughts. Why can I think that that's possible? Why? Right? I didn't just pull it out of my ass, right? There's something there. I could have, Camilo, if you wanted me to. If you don't look at me like that, Camilo.
Sorry to reach over.
You never know. if you put your hand in there, I mean, you can reach.
Let me see what question I got for today.
No, but yeah, it's always been difficult for me to accept that we just die. Come on, bro. Like, really? We just die? Right?
But again, like how you just said it right now, what if it is meant to be because it's a journey?
And that's definitely a hole in my thinking, for sure. But the reason why I can't believe that, because we all grasp at something and we're still not sure. And it seems to be extremely important as far as our existence, just like life is. And we still don't. You can believe that that's going to happen to you. You're going to reincarnate or you're going to go to heaven. You can truly believe that. But it's not set. We don't really know. And that's another part of.
But we don't know the other ones either.
Like, which ones? What do you mean?
The other outcomes.
None. We don't know what happens.
Yeah.
No, we don't, and that's what I mean. That confusion or that lost information
So
that we don't know.
Scrap one away if you don't know that the other one will be real.
Well, because I think that's pure human ego. We're just trying to be okay. We're trying to make sure our existence is okay every day. So we choose to believe these things because it makes you feel better and it gets you through your day. But there's missing context. What do you mean? Because I'm sure all those things that we all mention now, I'm sure some of those are all part of one. But why is the road not clear? Why is that such this thing that causes so much issues within us? Why are we so scared to talk about death?
Well, there's certain cultures that celebrate that.
Please.
Like, they don't see it as a bad thing. They, again, the way they see it is a journey.
It's the next step.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So they don't see it as how everyone else sees it or we see it, where
Like the Day of the Dead would be one, right? That would be a specific thing.
kind of, but even others.
because they are dead.
Yeah.
You recognize that they're gone.
Okay.
But
Yeah, like these other cultures, like they see this as a stepping stone. So it's not, whenever someone dies, like they don't really mourn them. Yes, it sucks that they're gone, but they're not gonna feel sad.
They don't go through a grieving process?
I
Or
would say-
is the celebration the grieving process?
Yeah, the celebration.
But it's still a grieving process.
Well, you're gonna grieve of anything.
But grief doesn't have to
loss.
necessarily be negative.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean,
it's just a change. It's like a change of
it's
loss.
just like it's like a process of change.
Well, it's like losing a car. Like you again. It's a grieving
I mean-
process.
You go through the same things.
Exactly the same thing.
It's the exact same thing, that's for sure, yeah.
It's whenever you lose.
I'm still on
That's
it.
why I'm losing my tractor, actually. No, TV. Okay, well, yeah, you may say it like that. I guess.
And my question is that if it is a process, then we don't need grief. If it's truly a process, we don't need grief, because grief is the selfish human ego. Oh, I don't get to have this person no more, right? That's all that is.
Yeah.
Grieving. So if they do recognize it as a journey, we shouldn't be sad.
Yeah.
Because we know that this is supposed to happen. We know what's going to happen next, right? So, and that's my question. Because
What again? What? Repeat the question.
my question is, because to me, and this is going to sound really inhumane, but just from a philosophy standpoint, grief is a waste of time. And I say that all with all due respect to people who had lost real people around them. But it is, because in reality, you're just sad because you don't get to be around that person. You're sad because you don't get to eat with them no more. But that's on you.
But that's a normal reaction. I feel like sadness is a normal reaction. Like, let's say your friend
They
goes
move away states.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing.
You can still be sad.
But they're not dead.
But it's still the same. It's still a similar process where you are, again, how Jesus was saying, it's still a similar process where what was there before, where you got to see him every day, that's gone.
But wouldn't you say that's a mechanism because of the poor way we understand death?
No, it's not.
Please tell me.
I don't think it is.
Well, tell me.
It's just you. It's just you. I mean, I don't think it's any. It's not. It's not because you're not good having grief or going through the process of grieving.
Yeah,
Grieving. It's a big grieving. Because boy, it depends. If you go through it for the first time, then you have the right to take it however you want it. Or however you want to take it, because hey, shit, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's changing, you don't know why it's changing, and you don't want to accept the fact that they're not here anymore. But then that is so different in so many aspects. Like, it affects you in different ways completely. Like, it can be if my grandma passed away, but I wasn't living with her 24/7, and I wasn't getting to her at lunch, and I wasn't getting to her at night, and she was not putting the hot meals in my table.
Yeah,
I will be sad. Oh yeah, healthy. I will be so fucking sad. But then at the next day, I can continue living without any problem, trouble, or anything. I will just live. Nothing will change. That's what we grieve the most about, is change. My mom, on the other hand, she was my ward. So when she passed, then it was a huge change. Like, everything, it was like 180 degrees rotation. Mm-hmm. It was just so different. So that's why it's different. Like, people can die, and that's fine, and we may be okay with it. But then, as you're saying, it is ego, because we're sad about what we lose whenever they pass. But then that ego is part of it too, because you need to. It's like something that you hate of yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, you need to identify what is that thin line that divides ego from sadness, and what is that is putting those two feelings together. And then at that point, that's when you need to think about it and be like, okay, what is that I'm sad about? So it is part of it, but it's not something bad. 'Cause I feel like it is necessary to go through it for you to understand, for future references. Because sadly, you will not only lose one person that was close to you in your life. You may be losing your whole family, or one by one, and you may end alone. So at that point of the line, when you have lost a lot of members of your family, then that's where you understand that it affects people differently in different ways, and it's on them how they want to control it. And then of course you can actually tell them, like, hey, I don't think that you're doing good. But then that's the taboo we may need to change. We should be able to criticize and help people to process grief, because sometimes they don't do it in a good way. Same, I didn't do it in a good way. I gained like 90 pounds. So see, those things, imagine if somebody would have told me, like, hey, this is not the right way to do it, but nobody there back in the day, nobody had to
deal with that, or the reference point, as you were saying.
They will not even try.
Would you want someone to tell you?
I don't know. I guess I will never know.
Because at that point, it's kind of disrespecting your grieving process.
See, but then that's what we need to cancel, though. If I see that you're killing yourself, though,
okay,
and then and be like, shit, you need to do something about it.
You're drinking to kill yourself because you're so sad, or your life is not moving on because you're so stuck on this. But I go ahead.
That's what we need to change about the perspective that we have on death. It's not a bad thing necessarily. Honestly, I don't think it is a bad thing. I embrace that, and I love the pain that causes on me, because you learn to do that with time. And then at that point is when you say, okay, it's like Jose said as well, it's a cliche. Okay, here we go again. Let's have it. Let's take it. Let's embrace change, and then let's just push through it. Then some people can't do that, and that's when they get stuck and for years and years and years. And that's when it's bad. That's when it is a bad thing. So
No, and I don't disagree, and I think the way you describe it is how people in this reality should definitely manage it and try to understand it so it doesn't become taboo and you don't stay stagnant, because we're all gonna lose people. That's just how this goes. That's a fact. Just even from simply, from losing a dog and getting a new one, you're gonna lose a dog.
It's exactly like that. Dogs. I never had a pet in my life.
Yeah.
So whenever people that is close to me or around me be like crying the shit out of them because one of their pets passed away, I will not understand it.
Yeah,
because I never had it. So I'll be like, wait, okay, and I at some point I was like, are you comparing this to this? Like, there's no way you can do that. Like, as Hosbaldo, you say, like, oh, it's like losing a car. No, I mean, it's not at that point. But it's like, the comparison is
He's
like...
not going to let you slide.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's a crazy comparison.
No, the comparison...
You hit right where it hurts. No, it was actually good. No, it was actually good.
The comparison...
I will take the eclipses, Hosbaldo. I will take it. No, I will give it to the Venezuelans over there.
The comparison I'm making is the routine, kind of how you...
it is a process that it may be similar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's something...
It's a loss, either way.
It's a loss where it's something you're so used to. It could be your house.
Pretty much,
It could be... It can be anything. And, of course, certain things are going to hurt more than others. Again, that's life. But it's still similar where other things... How we were saying, it's a change. It's how you adapt. So it could be you have a favorite sweater, and at some point you just use it too much, and you can't use it anymore. As much as you would like to use it, you just can't.
No, and I definitely agree with you as well, and Camilo. And I think that's how the general public should view it, right? But I pose the question one more time: does that have to be the mechanism as far as how we see death and understand it?
So how would you want everyone to see it?
No. How would you want to change the mechanism or the process then? So you don't want the process to be part of it?
Because I think it's useless.
The sad process.
I think it's useless. To be honest with you, I honestly think it's like appendix. We don't, bro. It's just taking up space.
They took it out of you, huh?
No, not yet. Hopefully not.
Let us see.
No.
Remove that.
I would have showed you. No, not yet. Still, I heard that's very painful. But it's that same idea. It's just kind of holding up space. It's a comfort for you to be like, oh, okay, human, it's okay. Go on about your life. Don't ask no more questions about this. Don't really try to understand what death is to us and why we're in it. Because that's what it is to me. I think what Camilo described is a great way to view it. It's a healthy way, and I think it's how most people should manage it, because this existence is very complex in itself, right? But when we go beyond that point and beyond this reality, it's filling up space. It's an old mechanism.
Well, I think that's the point, like, that was mentioned earlier, where, again, if it's a journey, you're not going to really care about it. But if you see death as the end point, then you are going to care about it.
But I don't even think it's about caring at that point. It's about having to... Because if it is a journey, you will even care even more.
Okay.
You will care even more if it's a true journey. Mm. If it's the end, like Camilo said, at some point, if you're healthy enough and stable enough, you will get over it and your life will move on, right? You could still remember this lovely person that was close to you, of course. You will never forget them, but you will move on. But if it's a journey, and just for the sake of an example, let's say the journey is that once in a while, this person could come back and visit you and talk to you in whatever form that is. Not flesh form, but it could come and they'll have a conversation.
A ghost.
Sure. Whatever you...
Spirits.
Sure. You guys...
Spectre.
No.
Yeah, sure.
I'll put my foot in that one. I'll put my foot
Spectator.
Yeah, but what if... Because like I said, I don't know. Death just seems to be this mechanisms to keep humans like at that mortal level. Like,
who is keeping us?
can
They can even.
Tell me.
Well, even that person that is trying to keep us under something, or I don't know, governor or some shit. That person is gonna die too, isn't it?
Well,
No.
okay. Well, Jose, give me your standpoint.
Because it would
You have something to
be like, I think that final person would be like an immortal one. They're not gonna go through it, but they're gonna give us like this feel of it, So they're never gonna worry about it. They'll just have to kind of.
Oh, you mean
respond to
like
how we're
the truth behind it? They know it, but we don't.
Yeah,
Very much. Oh,
and I mean
exactly.
But I mean that goes back to like into the beliefs that you have, into the religions and everything there, and then a little bit like with Hosbaldo as well. That a little bit like with Jesus, if you have like this reincarnation form where you're gonna keep coming back and back, then you're never gonna care what you do in your life because you already know I'm gonna have another go at it either way. So if I'm a dickhead now, doesn't matter. I have another chance, and then maybe I can be better over there. So that part there, you don't care for anything. There's no grief. There's nothing. Because you already know this is what's going to happen and I'm going to get another chance. But if you were to know that, no, if what I do, it's going to result in me actually like having good or bad ending, you're going to be like, no, I don't want to have the good bad one. I want to go into the good one. So then you'll be motivated to work towards that, So depending what belief that you have is how you're going to be working towards it in a way, basically. Because then also like in more ancient cultures and stuff, the Egyptians and all of them, they have a path for death.
Yep.
It's a bit of the celebration, but what do they do with their sarcophagus and all that stuff? They write the hieroglyphics, but those are instructions on how do you keep going. They give you gold coins so you can pay that final reaper that takes you across. So they know that there's a process for it, and everybody believed it since then. But even from there, like you still had to do good things. Basically, only like the kings and all of them, the noble people, were the ones that made it up there into that holy place to them. Everybody else, peasants, they didn't, because they didn't have the rite of passage. They couldn't get a sarcophagus. They couldn't get gold coins. They couldn't get like the steps written on them. So, based into what you believe, I think is how you're going to be working it. It doesn't matter what somebody else believes. It's about you.
No.
And then from there, then you're going to reincarnation, or you go into that final life, and you just keep going on forever, basically. Or you switch, and then you never know that you had a previous life.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
That's part of the egg theory, where you live your whole life, but then once you die and you're reincarnated, again, you basically forget everything, and you feel like a new person. But in reality, it's still you.
Yeah.
So at that point, if you hurt someone, you're hurting yourself. So at that point, the point of the theory is basically trying to say,
good.
Yeah, be good.
Isn't that the purpose of all of the theories then?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
More or less.
The quantum theories don't really care.
Well, they don't even understand quantum physics nowadays as well.
Well, there's a general one.
Very general.
That's why it's general.
So, if we had to pick one, what are we picking? As far as all those ideas, all those theories, what are we comfortable with?
I'd rather not picking. I don't care. Dude. Like at that point, it's just like that. Everything that needs to happen will happen, and I just rather not think about it. It's fine.
That's the taboo thing.
Exactly.
You don't want to share nothing because you have a feeling if I say that this is going to happen, then it will happen.
Oh, no, honestly,
yeah.
nah.
Because then you start to believe it your own. That's why you never want to say it.
Because
that's the part of the superstition.
And real quick, and not to pile on Camilo, because we're just going to have an open conversation. But I think what you said is because you have to get through this reality. It's because this existence has forced you and pushed you to the point where it has to be that simple for you, because the everyday stresses of the world and life and your career and all the other stuff that we have to do here for sure, right? And I think like that, what you just said, I can't agree with that, because I don't know, for me to fall asleep and be like, whatever needs to happen will happen. And I can only agree with you on that, because we'll never have 100% control of anything. Yet ourselves, right? Yet the universe, right? But as far as just me folding my hands, whatever happens needs to happen, that's, like you said, the taboo part of what humans have to endure on this reality, and why we just accept those things.
What will you do then?
That's also one of your belief systems as well. if it is part from religion or not, it's still what you believe. You're gonna like, I'm just gonna let it happen and see what goes.
But then what can I do? O sea, then what I mean is, what do I do
something.
Then? Okay, I pick the word and the other half.
If it's for like the heaven stuff, if that's the one that you pick.
It's not heaven. It's just
Or
the real life.
Yeah. Well, it's just
Real
picking
existence,
one.
not just heaven. It's just like another life.
Another life.
You're part of something.
So
where you're not in this realm.
Like, I would pick reincarnation anywhere, even if it's like cross dimensions.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like, if I don't have full memories of me in a past life, that would kind of, I guess, be okay, because you're given a second chance somewhere else. But then that's where you feel the deja vu as well, because at basically at any point, any day, you're always doing something new, right? You still put your shoes on, but this was Wednesday the 28th, and not like last month, where Wednesday was the 12th. So in a sense, everything is new always, all the time. You're always recreating your image in that moment.
What were you gonna say before you forget?
No, so again, there's another theory basically where once you die, your brain just kind of puts you in a dreamlike state where whatever you want happens. So if you want to see your family, you see your family, but
no, but if it's fake, I don't want
it. Yeah, exactly. It's basically your brain
trying to
make
you feel better, comforting you.
You won't know at the end.
That's true. That's true.
If it is like just making it up and all that stuff. Because technically they say when you die, your brain's still active for about 8 minutes afterwards. And that's where your life flashes and you get all these memories and everything again. That could be part of one of the reincarnations where you're dead there, but then you're like reliving everything through as well again. And then again, that's where the deja vu comes in, because you did it in this life over here, but then in your memory reprocessing it goes through again, slightly different, and you're like, oh dude, I feel like I lived this. So then you're again just in one of the cycles, I guess, for it.
Yeah, so again, kind of like Camilo said, like if it's just your brain making up this scenario, like I don't think I would want it, because again, it's fake. But at the same time, how can you differentiate that from an actual afterlife?
Wouldn't.
Yeah,
I mean, is this? So I pass. How about if this is what my brain is putting me in after I pass?
That's why there's
you don't know. It can, because we know that part to be true, because we know from psychedelics, they can make you live this whole out life like fully, and you live it and you feel everything and you sense everything and you'll cry in that life that's in there and you go through everything, but then afterwards you just come back to your real normal life at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. So, do you guys think the soul that is in you has always been yours?
Well, at that point, you would have to ask, what was there before? Like, again, coming back to if death is a journey, where were you before? Did it just start when you were born, or where were you before?
Because, I don't know. I feel like most humans experience deja vu at some point. We all have. We all get that weird feeling.
There's actually an explanation for deja vu.
Well, you got it. You're on a podcast. Let's go.
Oh, but I just don't remember 100%, but it's just your brain recreating possible moments in your life based on previous moments in your life. They may be happened, but they're not real. It's your just brain picturing situations.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why whenever you have a deja vu, is not 100% exact to whatever you dream of. It may be similar, but there's pretty standard situations. Like you watching TV, touching this specifically. You have like the key, like
Glimpses.
It rings a bell.
Glimpses.
And, oh shit!
Yeah.
This may have happened before.
Yeah.
But it's just because it's a very standard situation. It's just playing with statistics, honestly.
Okay. So.
But you don't kind of know, because.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
if your soul is connected and everything, and you keep it all the time, if you move from dimension to dimension,
maybe,
then you did something in the other dimension. But because you crossed into a different dimension, now it feels like you didn't do it. It feels like it's a made up sort of scenario, because everything is different now, down to like the air, the molecules, everything. Mm-hmm. The dimensions will be different for sure. So then that's where you also feel this like, no, that's not what happened. That's not me.
Yeah, well, at this point, I would just go for the logical part of it. But if we start to theorize things, and yeah, it makes a lot of sense, honestly. Maybe some of the hints from the heaven or shit like that. You never know.
Well, let's stay on that logic for a little bit. So if we're gonna go off that logic, that means that the soul started with you, with your birth or your existence.
What logic?
The initial births.
Well, of what you explained about deja vu and why we think we.
So that is not mystical. It's just some use your brain based on that logic.
Yeah. So that means your soul started with you. It didn't have another life prior to you. It didn't float from a different dimension to you.
Probably. Yeah.
So, but I mean, doesn't that sound kind of weird? That sounds too simple to be.
How about
if we go off just the logic?
How about if there's creation but there's no end?
And give me a little more.
Like there's a beginning but there's no end. Like you start being a new soul, then that soul never dies.
So that soul has existed before your existence.
No, it's a new soul. It just never dies.
So basically, every birth is a new soul.
It's a new soul that it will start its own path.
So your soul is the same, but every brain is different.
Maybe, yeah,
Maybe. Every understanding.
Kind of like you were saying with the memories that you may keep some of them, and that may create this deja vu stuff like that. But then we were born one time. Your soul is, and then it just has an infinite path of lives, options.
Well, that would go more into like the multiverse theory. Well, a little bit where if you're born, and at that point, every decision you make or people around you make splits into different timelines. So you're still you. Your soul is still yourself, but it has branched out into many different ones.
Different consequences.
Yeah,
outcomes.
And again, there's another theory where basically that you never die. That whenever you are close to dying or about to die, you just switch to another universe.
That's what I had read into the deja vus.
Mm-hmm.
That either in like the current life that you're at or like a previous one, that's where you died. And that's why you have one like that flash memory where like, oh, this is kind of familiar, but you don't know anything as to why. Because it's the last final thing that happens, and you just kind of like take a picture of it real quick, but no explanation to it. And so then that's why you feel it. Because then from that there, then your life starts again afterwards, and then you die and then it starts again. Because it's only deja vu is only at very specific times.
Very specific.
It's not like, oh, I tied my shoe. Like, oh man, I feel like I tied my shoe before. Like, yeah, obviously you did, But it's into like much bigger event where you're only noticing that deja vu, like very specific, like kind of like weird, like pinpointed things.
I feel like that would work, but at the same time, like if we are splitting into so many dimensions, and a lot of them we're going to be dying all the time. So like it would be like if you're driving down the street in one dimension, you're killed. So in another dimension, you're killed 1 centimeter away. So at that point, you would be feeling deja vu at all times.
Yeah, yes and no as far as that thought process, because I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. That's where we have to learn how to use death as a vehicle, right? And that's when we have to learn how to manage these dimensions in these moments, right?
I feel like there's rules. Like there's no way. Like we're not the first person or people having this kind of or asking this kind of questions to ourselves.
Of course not.
So how about whenever you pass and I pass? There has to be something that does not let us come back here and be like, hey, fucking Hosbaldo, like this is what's going on, this is what happens. There has to be some not letting us do that. If it's true that we go to a different dimension or to a different realm or to a different state of life, whatever that we go to, there has to be something that is not letting us.
No, yeah, and that's another thing I was saying earlier. That's why it seems to be these mechanisms to keep us at a certain level.
So you think it comes from whatever place that may be?
Yeah, a little bit what he was explaining earlier, where the person he doesn't have, or the being doesn't have to worry about.
How about if it's just balance? It's just life that needs to be balanced, and somehow, and that's how they create that balance.
Yeah, and it could simply be that too, but. You say that to me just sounds like another things for you to be comfortable and you just to accept things.
Because again, this definitely does go back into what is morally right. Because it's like, is morally right something that we came up with, or is something that the universe came up with?
And is it morally right to die?
So again, if the universe came up with it, then kind of you're saying there's rules.
Wait, but who's saying that it's not though? Who's saying that it's bad?
No, I never said it was bad.
No, but based on your questions.
I think the mechanism is misunderstood, and I only think it only becomes bad because we seem to be stuck in life and death. But we also know the word immortality, and we know what that means. We have, right? That word exists. We didn't just come up with it nowhere. Immortal, right? That's a word. That's a thing. Living forever. Living
I
a
don't think
long
that
time.
will work though.
Well, why?
I'm sorry, it's all I keep kicking you with this because you're like basically laying on your shares, bro. Look at them.
Need a rest.
Like what? Why? Like I mean, it won't work.
But that goes to what I've been asking. Why? Because that's the only basic understanding of what we have. We were always, or it seems like we were only made to live and die, live and die, live and die. But I don't know. That just
So who made that rule?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. If you guys want to go into that, that's as far. If you ask me, is these other beings that came down to create us for different reasons, and we got out of hand.
Where did they get their rules from?
Well, that's a great question, because as far as their rule, they do believe in a center God or one universe. That's
so who that center
start
God,
with that utopia as well. It's not gonna work.
No, but like it's the same. It's like that center God versus a religious God. Like, why did that God choose these rules?
No, you're right. But and if it is that center God, but those beings that I believe that's how this thing happened, right? The Anunnaki, just to be clear, because I'm not scared.
Osuna.
No, shut up.
Next time, dude. Right, next time. I'll tell you when. I'll tell you when to say it.
But
oh look, Beachy Boogie is back.
Shout out.
She's always there.
No, she stopped being there like for shit like months.
That's a good one. We can get into the talk about assisted death. But just to finish my point on the question you're asking, but those beings seem to be able to exist on a higher level, and that's why they were even able to come here and make us. But they were still playing by those rules, but they seem to escape something so they can play at a higher level.
So you're saying that they became immortal?
Yes, the Anunnaki are immortal.
You're
beings.
directing everything to the fact that immortality is the key to escape the cycle. Then
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you live forever, you don't die.
Yeah, bro. Then we don't have to worry
but
about
it doesn't
death.
make sense then.
But why not?
But not everyone's gonna want to.
Yeah.
No, and that's your option as a human.
Of course.
You want to go die, live the simple life. People choose the simple life every day. That's fine. That's why people don't like talking about the death, because they don't want to wear themselves or overcomplicate themselves. And you could choose that, but just look at how everything is going. Immortality is going to be a thing like sipping some water.
Of course, I agree with that, but that doesn't. Immortality and death, they can be two completely different things.
Please tell me that you said something. Please go ahead. The floor is yours, sir.
So
Passing the mic. So you can be extra clear.
Yeah.
So again, basically, going back, if immortality is a thing,
Yeah.
you can choose to live forever. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Other people can choose to die as well.
For sure.
So, but the process of dying is still there. So, what happens there? Because the person that's immortal, they're never going to be able to experience what the person dying is
I
experiencing.
know, but you're acting as if we do have immortality and we have that much time to figure things out. We're not going to figure out a mechanism to understand death in a better way. You're dismissing that fact, because I think that's why immortality is there for.
So you're saying that immortality will be able to explain death?
Yes, I truly do.
How?
And well, okay, you guys want to go down this rabbit hole, because at some point we will have to get to the point where we can develop our own souls, and we can engineer from that standpoint, where we actually have a tub of floating souls. Pick one. What do you want? Okay, right. At some point we will, because that's the essence of who we are, and just how we're getting into DNA, another essence of what we are, and we're trying to understand it better by better. The soul would be the next thing that we're gonna try to fully understand to make it ourselves.
Can kind of agree.
Or disagree?
No, I can kind of agree.
Okay.
So basically, this goes back to the quantum theory one, where I don't know if you listened to the last podcast, but basically with quantum or string theory, like you can manipulate the strings to make whatever material you want. So if we're able to manipulate even at a smaller molecule level, if consciousness is there, we could theoretically build a consciousness.
And that seems to be the only way we're going to understand the true of that manipulation. We have to get, because to get there is to understand what that even is. Mm-hmm. And when we understand that, that's when that manipulation is, the axis is incredible.
But then, okay, here's another point, I guess. Because going back to dimensions, I guess there is a possibility that you wouldn't need to die to go to the F dimension.
Look, we don't even have to go that crazy. Just how he
No, let's go.
No. But just to bring it back, just for the audience, right? What happens when you take a psychedelic trip? What happens? You literally die.
Yeah.
You die.
There is
Your
a
ego
part of
dies.
That's part of you, though.
That's true, exactly.
So we have we don't even have to go that far. We don't even have to go into those holes right now. Psychedelics have showed us, that's why cancer patients take them sometimes, so they can accept death, so they can understand death and the beauty of death, right? So we can already experience death if we want to, if you're willing and strong enough to take psilocybin, MDMA, and all these other psychedelics, right? That's the psychedelic already shows us death. That's the point of psychedelics, right? And when you use these substances in the correct way, you become better, right? After dying. And that would be us understanding that process way better. Right?
Okay.
And that's simple, so we don't have to go that far. So we don't have to steer that far.
Well, in that situation, then you wouldn't even need to be immortal.
Or that could be a kind of immortality.
Yeah, kind of. Like, let's say you're able to cross dimensions into the death dimension. At that point, you could cross over and go back to this normal dimension anytime you want. So at that point, you technically could be immortal, but then if you die here, are you permanently stuck in the death dimension?
Well, if you're going to go by what you're saying, maybe you have better legs under you when you do die in this reality. And that you can manage better and you know how to move better. So you're not stuck, because you already experienced it. You already seen it with your biological body still being here. Because that's the point of why they give it to cancer patients, so they can accept it and embrace it. Now, we don't know what the cancer patient experience when they actually die in this reality, but they know it's easy into it, right? So I should have started psychedelics. I don't know why we even went that far before I lost Camilo on that one. But psychedelics is that, though. Psychedelics kills you, and you are reborn to become a better person, right?
Well, you're not really reborn to be a better person.
Your spirit is, your energy.
Yeah.
Not even that.
So what is your ego then?
No, well, your ego dies, but then your ego dies in a way where it goes blank. So whatever, it just allows for whatever growth you wanted to do. So, like, let's say you're a bad person and you want to be even worse. You want to be more evil. You could take a psychedelic and your brain will basically be like, okay, it's fine, go be more evil.
No, yeah, and that's definitely a real thing. There will be bad immortal people. That's a fact. No, yeah, but that doesn't sway away from the possibility, right?
Possibility of what?
Of that is not what we think it is, or what we were taught or programmed to believe it is. It's not, because if you can die in a psychedelic trip and come out better and come with better understanding of yourself or just your general environment, that sounds to me like the pure definition of immortality. And that sounds what the journey should be as far as death goes. And you guys earlier mentioned it. You want to be better. You try to become better next time. Or you try to make sure if you're going to go, your soul's going to be passed on, you're going to be better version of whatever you were or not, right? But that's a real way where we can actually capture the materialization of death. And that's all I'm saying. Because I don't know. Things just, I don't know. That just, I've never been okay with it. Like,
so is it that you don't want to have death, or you just?
I want all the context. I want to use all the tools to our best of our abilities as humans. And back to the hierarchy he mentioned, I want to touch the hierarchy too. Why not?
How to get there? Yeah.
Exactly. Why are we limited? Why are we pushed down because we're human? Why?
Nah, I see there is no hierarchy.
Well, please let us know. Let us know.
No, well, again, it's basically the same thing. It's just
this blasphemy.
It's just again, what I mostly believe is, I would want to believe, is the quantum theory. That's why I keep mentioning it. So at that point, the only hierarchy is the universe. It's not really any. It's not any tangible level or being, how you said. Like it's just the universe.
And how much do you understand the universe?
Well, we don't. But it could be as simple.
Isn't that a hierarchy? You are limited, and we seem to continue to be limited.
You don't know, like the
Especially with
creators.
the universe, so yeah.
Yeah, isn't that a hierarchy in itself?
That's the
Yeah.
point. That's again. It could be as simple as there is no hierarchy.
Okay.
Because the universe, as complex as it might seem, the universe is us experiencing itself. So at that point, there is no hierarchy because we are the hierarchy.
And my next question to that, how well do you know yourself?
Well, again, that would be up to each person.
Not really.
It would be up to each person's universe, kind of,
or ability or beliefs.
Yeah, and again, there are some people that are going to be fine.
Yeah. The general public, for the most part, they're not going to go this deep. It's a burden at this point. Nobody wants to think this deep or have that burden of trying to scratch out that answer.
Yeah, so again, the way I see it is there is no hierarchy because it's either you don't care about it being a hierarchy, or you're the hierarchy already. So there's no point in looking up or down.
I can agree we are the hierarchy already, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean it's fully unlocked to the possibilities.
It's not fully unlocked to you right now,
or to anybody,
but to your soul it's unlocked.
Yeah, and I need to get to that door. I need the skeleton key to open that door. That's what I'm saying.
Because okay, going back to the egg theory. And that theory, it just basically states that you're the universe, and you yourself make yourself forget because
that you're the one.
Yeah, exactly. You yourself make yourself forget you're the one, because if you lived every life knowing the past life, that's not really gonna do anything. Because that's what you're wanting. You're basically wanting to know everything.
No. Everything is a strong word. I just want access. Just how you have access on the internet to research whatever you like on whatever topic, I want that same access.
Because you basically have access
Give
already.
me the search bar. Let me know what I was doing in the 1800s in India.
No, I see what you're saying. Like you have access, like,
because that's what the internet is technically, right? If we really think about that thought process.
Again, the egg theory basically says you do have access, but you yourself are limiting your access.
I can agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
So it's like,
I can agree with that part.
So
yeah,
if you're limiting your access for a reason, I guess you're basically wanting to get access, but you yourself already told yourself you're not getting access.
Well, I think that's what the general public is doing.
Okay, again, so in your situation, you would want that access, even though you yourself already told yourself no access.
No, well, you don't put words in my mouth. I've never in my life have told myself such thing. I don't live with limits as far as my thinking and as far as my soul and as far as how far I can, like, so let me answer your question. The only reason I want access and call it a hallucination, call it a dream, call it a psychedelic trip, call it deja vu. I mean, there's other things that has happened before me that seem to be ingrained in my memory, and sometimes I get glimpses of it. And that's the only reason I have that curiosity. What's that glimpse? What's that tab? Wait, bring it back. What was I doing in Indian in T100? What do you mean?
And of course, I feel like I would want to know as well. But
I think what you're saying, not everybody deserves to. And I think we kind of touched on it on the last podcast.
I think everyone does deserve to.
But that goes back to there will be bad people and they will misuse the information.
That's the hierarchy then.
But those bad people are yourself.
Yeah,
so,
to the egg there. Yeah, you're right.
So again, it's like everyone deserves it because everyone is that person.
Or is it just, it's just the room of those mirrors? Have you guys ever been in those room in those mirrors and it's just kind of, is it just that then? It's basically just you kind of fighting yourself over and over in different versions and different dimensions, but you're stuck there because you can't go past that.
Interesting.
So let's close this out with some final thoughts. Anything, Jose? What you think? Anything you missed or you added or you want to throw in before we wrap it up?
No, I don't know. I mean, I would like to believe that, that at some point that we might be able to figure out what happens afterwards, and it would be like an actual, like full, like factual sort of thing, But I think to get there, we would all have to be super advanced. We would all have to go through evolution to be able to tap into that, at free will, basically, not through psychedelics, not through anything. And I think from there, then we would all have this idea of it, and then we can all agree as to like, oh yeah, this happens. But I think that's gonna take a super long time to even try to get to that point.
For sure.
Because then even for now, like, religions are still gonna be separating. Science is still gonna be separating into what you're gonna be going through afterwards. So we would have to have this full like congruence with everybody that this is what happens. This is how we know stuff, I guess.
I love it, Jose. Always the voice of reason. I love it. Camilo, anything? Final thoughts on the general conversation?
What? What's funny?
He thinks we're we're a bunch of little kids talking about things that we shouldn't be talking about.
Look at his face.
He looks like a divorced father with that. Don't ever say that. Scaring people, man. No, I'm not chill about that. No, anything for seriamente?
No, it's just the same. If I was to choose, then I would choose that word where the one Jose was saying. Something similar to it.
Where you go to this other place and you're still you.
Yeah. Or if I have to reincarnate too, I just rather not to. Like, I would rather, well, unless I will figure out whenever I die that this is my, I don't know, like 10th reincarnation.
Different ones?
Yeah. Goddamn, I've been going around for a long time, so at that point I'm like, shit, I might as well just stay.
Yeah.
Or
I would choose different stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be a cheetah, dude. I'd be an eagle.
I'd be a bee.
I'd be different sort of animals and stuff. Because I think to be a person, like, it would just be me. I would never want to be somebody else.
Yeah,
exactly. See, that's my conflict too.
In any place. But if in the same place, I could be something different, yeah, I'll try it. Just kind of how it goes. But then that also makes us fall into the belief that once this is over, then I get to go into the next part. If we get to choose. So I'll be a crocodile, but then once I die, well, then I'll come back and I'll be this. And then once that dies, then I'll come back and be this. Like, I'll be picking it, you know? And then at some point, I'll be like, nah, I'll just be a person. I'll be me again. I'll just be my physical form again, human form again. So, yeah. But, yeah, I would want to choose different things.
I guess I will see. Ignorance is just the fact that I don't know things. So,
And in reality, we don't know. We don't know nothing. That's why these conversations are so fun. That's why you need to theorize more. It's fun when you're willing to theorize, man. Come on, you.
Sometimes.
And I want to say this on mic, but because you're so intelligent and you have the base that you can theorize so good, Camilo. You just gotta allow that freedom to yourself. Yeah, because you have like the pure logic of everything. You're so you're intelligent.
You just need to be smart enough.
No, right.
Oh, right
in my next reincarnation, I will be like this psychedelic.
We can't wait.
No, not even that.
We can't wait till then.
You don't have to take anything. Just think.
No, I do. I take the chance. This is for me to believe on something. I just need to.
No, I'm not asking you to
need
believe.
to
That's up to you.
No, not see it. I need to have a
Live
solid base, and maybe hopefully live it. Shit, who knows? I'll be going to the moon and sending Jesus Jose some videos of it.
Yo, what did I tell you?
Oh, what, the studios? What were
The Hollywood studios.
Yeah, I saw that one already. Stanley Kubrick? Yeah, dude, I saw that.
hey, Jose, I'm here with Nate Antrim real quick. He says hi.
We're Studio 58, Los Angeles, California. Hollywood. Yeah.
Let's get Hosbaldo.
All right, Osvaldo, any final thoughts from today's conversation or any final things you want to put out there?
Just one last theory. Again,
The real theory.
yeah, this is the real theory.
No more bullshit.
Is homosexuality a brain disease?
And to real news.
No, but
Queen Elizabeth alive.
Go ahead.
She's a reptilian, so yes.
She's in the moon right now.
the last theory basically states that it's more so since the universe is so random, sometimes there's a random chance. Like, have you guys heard of Schrodinger's cat?
Sure what?
Schrodinger's.
Oh yeah.
Basically, where if you take a box, there's so much entropy in the universe that if you were to take a box and all the entropy in the entire universe and wait an unlimited amount of time, anything could appear in the box. So basically, the theory is it is a bit more possible for the universe to randomly create a brain with all your memories rather than the universe to be real.
Or you or the universe, because you're the only brain that exists.
That's why, again, like, so it could be.
Came to make sure you pattern up that last there. That's what you did.
So it's basically like the universe randomly created this brain with all these memories, but all these memories are not real.
Well, apart from the fact that everything is possible in life.
Yeah,
Like I can say right now, that 99% of the oxygen molecules will go to that corner.
that's true.
Who's telling me that cannot happen?
It's possible.
It's possible to happen, and then we'll all die suffocated.
That's possible.
It's
Totally
just
possible.
because the universe is random. It has statistics, and at some point, it's so fucking big that we don't even know what's going on. So, in fact, everything can fucking appear in that box.
Yeah.
Everything.
But then, how about if we are the bots? Like, we don't know. How about we are,
We're inside the box.
or we're oh shit?
I was telling you about it as well. There's a theory on that too, that if you were to have something like in a confined space and everything, if enough time passes, it's gonna decompose and all that thing there, and it's gonna break down into like the tiniest thing, right? But then once it's broken down into the smallest thing, well, then that's the building blocks of all life. And then then eventually, after all the time, it's gonna first it like decayed, like went down, but then it's gonna build itself back up.
I've seen it with an apple.
And then
No, yeah.
it'll be the same. It could give you the same apple again, or within there, because the universe is random. One tiny shift, and you started with an apple, but then there was nothing, and then you have a banana.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, So if things are like very confined, that's kind of how we're seeing that they are. You know, there's like vacuums and all that stuff. So we are in a specific space. Well, then we can keep reliving the same things every single time.
Yeah, so that would kind of confirm that the whole universe is random. Wouldn't you agree?
No, dude. I mean, yes, but no. It's like,
Thank you, Camilo.
it's just fucking. That's why we have mad Hosbaldo. It's not shit. I feel like instead of me believing that immortality will be possible at some point, I feel like we'll be able to explain that with math or some shit.
Yeah, me too.
In a different way.
And that's all I'm really saying, gentlemen. That's all I'm really saying. All I'm and you guys off mic, on mic, you guys know this is what I think about. But that's all I'm saying. Don't limit yourselves, because anything can be, just how you just guys stated. Anything could be, and I could be wrong, Camilo could be right, Jose could be right, Hosbaldo could be wrong. Anything can be. The possibility in this. That's why these conversations are so fun, and why we should not be scared to dive in, because just what you just said about the molecules in that corner, and we all suffocate right now, and that's it. Right? So that's all I'm saying. Anything can be possible. So fear of expression, right or wrong, needs to leave us. We need to stop, because this is why we continue to say, oh, we only know this. Oh no, I only have the general basis of. Who cares? let's shoot. Let's see what sticks and what doesn't stick, and then we'll go from there, right? And I said this to Hosbaldo, because I truly believe abstract is the mother to all logic. You only get logic when you start from an abstract point, because even how babies learn, they have to go touch that damn corner, they have to go touch the hot stove to know that that's not working.
Oh, give my baby a weapon.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. They better be born in Texas.
But yeah, like a.
Because if not, babies can't carry. No?
Shout out to Texas.
But
And
yeah,
on that, go
like
ahead.
a famous philosopher once said, "You miss 100 of the shots you don't take."
Yeah. Michael J. Scott.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Nah, dude, you missed the joke, dude.
I know, man.
And then real quick before we get off this, Katsila, we just premiered the new video out in Lookout Mountain. Please go show us some love. Go like it. Go subscribe. Share it, please. Behind the scenes video on my channel coming before Sunday, so be on the lookout for that. And real quick, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys entertaining me and even dealing with my crazy ass. But on that note, thank you for everybody that watched this, everybody that was here, and everybody's gonna watch this.